order. This hearing is taking place at 10 a.m. on April 26, 2012 at the 4th floor boardroom, Central High School Building, 359 Northwest Street, Jackson, Mississippi. The purpose of this hearing is to allow the Jackson Public School District to show cause as to why the district's accreditation should not be withdrawn. I'm Susan Birchfield, Chair of the Commission on School Accreditation. Ellen O'Neill, Special Assistant Attorney General, will serve as legal advisor to the Commission during the hearing. The record will also reflect that Dr. James Sargent, Interim Superintendent for the Jackson Public School District, is present, and the district is represented by Jim Keith. The Office of Accreditation is represented by Kathy Vogler, Special Assistant Attorney General, and Heather Deaton, Special Assistant Attorney General. Let me note that in conducting this hearing, the Commission is not bound by formal rules of evidence or procedure as required by courts of law. This hearing will be conducted so that both parties will be afforded a fair and reasonable opportunity to present evidence by documents or testimony that relate to the issue in a manner that is most appropriate to them. Each party will have the opportunity to cross-examine witnesses presented by the opposing party. Additionally, Commission members may ask questions after cross-examination is completed. We will follow the procedure of allowing the Executive Secretary of the Commission for School Accreditation to present evidence and testimony. After cross-examination by the respondent and questions from Commission members, the school district will be allowed to show cause as to why the school district's accreditation should not be withdrawn. Both parties may make closing arguments if they so desire. At the close of the evidence, the Commission may take the case under advisement or go into executive session to make its decision. A record of these proceedings is being made. At this time, I would like for all witnesses who are going to testify or present any documents to stand at this time and be sworn in by the court reporter. Anyone who is going to serve as a witness or present documents in this case.
You raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and all the God?
I do.
Good morning. I'm Ellen O'Neill, Special Assistant Attorney General. Does either party wish to make an opening statement at this time? I do not.
We would like to make a short statement. My name is Jim Keith on behalf of the Jackson Public School District. With me is Jessica Tavares and his in-house counsel, Joanne Shepard, and then board attorney, Dorian Turner, is over here behind me as well. With us here today, of course, is the superintendent, whom I will introduce later, as well as members of the board of trustees of Jackson Public School District.
Can you just walk to the microphone and have a talk to you?
Maybe you can hear me better now? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. And I apologize for not being heard from over there. The Jackson Public School District is here today to not contest or to take issue with all of the specific allegations that have been brought forth by the Department of Education. We don't think that that is a fruitful way to spend this morning. But what we do want to do at some point when we are allowed is that we would like to be able to present where we are today, what we have been doing to address these issues that have been brought forth by the Department of Education, and why we think that we are on a path to correct these issues and to ensure this commission, that this district is committed to make these actions take place. With that being said, we will obviously we stipulate obviously to the documents that are being presented here today by the Department of Education. We don't necessarily agree with the content of every single one of them, but as I said, we are not here to get into disputing the specific allegations and the specific issues raised by the Department of Education, because we think it would be better spent, this time would be better spent for this commission to understand what the district has done to date, what they are presently doing and how committed they are to making sure that the Jackson Public School District provides quality education to kids in this district. And I think you can see by the commitment of the people who are here in this audience here today, with the superintendent, the entire board, and members of the staff that are here to show this commission that they are serious about making this happen. And that's what we intend to show today. Thank you very much.
Now, does the Office of Accreditation have any exhibits to present this night?
Yes, we have exhibits C1 through C32.
And I understand that the parties have already agreed to the exhibits.
We have agreed to the admission of the exhibits. In the event that this matter, if it goes on to a court, there we would request that court that some of the documents are educational records and that they be sealed and protected.
That is correct. There's a couple of documents in there that do reference some individual student issues, as well as reference some personnel issues that would need to be sealed. And as I said earlier, we stipulate the admissibility of these documents, although we don't necessarily agree to the content. And then I don't think you have issue with our documents.
That's correct.
Okay.
We've agreed to the admissibility of the district's exhibits.
Okay. So, Ms. Butler, are these the exhibits? Have they already been marked?
They are marked C1 through C32.
Okay. And with that, then they're admitted into evidence. Does court order have them?
Yes.
Mr. Keith, does the district?
And the district's exhibits are 1 through 9, and I believe everyone has a copy of those, as well as the court presentation. Well, excuse me, 10. I missed well, let's see, we got them. Yes, it is 1 through 10, I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, then they are admitted into evidence. Mr. Keith, is there 11? You're telling me?
Well, actually, there was 11 counts, but there was not an exhibit.
Well, the witness list is not an exhibit. That's what it is. It's just now. Okay.
If you want to include that as 11 exhibit, that's
Okay, Ms. Butler, the Office of Accreditation can proceed with your case.
And we would like to invoke the rule prior to the first session.
Okay, Mr. Keith, did you hear that?
She wants to invoke the rule?
Yes.
Okay, the only witnesses that we plan to have is the superintendent, who obviously is the district's representative. The other witness that we will have is our board chairman, who I think certainly is a member of the, she is the district being a board member, and I would ask that she be able to stay in during the testimony. Those are the only 2 witnesses that we have.
Ms. Butler?
But she will not testify.
So we have the board chairman will testify. Those are the only 2 witnesses that we do have. But both of them are in the nature of corporate representatives, because you've got the superintendent, who obviously is the superintendent of the school district. You've got the board chairman, who does represent the district itself.
Ms. Butler, do you have any objection to those 2 witnesses staying?
The procedure is that there would be one designee for the agency, and that's what the board has done. The commission has one, Dr. Van House is our
So you're not willing to waive that?
Are you not willing to waive that and allow them, do you have an objection to both of them staying in? How does the commission feel about it? The commission could decide. Generally, and those of you here, invoking the rule is a procedural rule that means that all witnesses who will be testifying, other than the actual parties themselves or party representatives, have to leave the room while other people are testifying. So that's what that's about. Ms. Butler?
We would request that there be only one agency representative.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Excuse me.
I don't know if it's in order, but may I ask a question?
Can I have your name, please?
H. Ann Jones. What happens if commission members want to question other, maybe members of the board? We will have a chance to do that, and this is not after their testimony. Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay, then all witnesses need to leave the room other than the one representative for each party.
occupation?
I am Paula Vanderford. I'm the Education Bureau Director for the Office of Accreditation.
And what are your responsibilities regarding your position?
My responsibilities are to serve as the Director for the Office of Accreditation and the day-to-day responsibilities of that office.
Could you tell the commission about Exhibit C1?
Yes, Exhibit C1 is the accreditation record summary for the Jackson Public School District, which indicates the current deficiencies on record in the Office of Accreditation. However, these are the deficiencies that were on record at the time that this hearing was scheduled. The three deficiencies on record at the time that the hearing was scheduled is Process Standard 10.5, failure to meet the October 15th deadline for submission of the school district's year-end financial statements based on the report for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2009. The second, Process Standard 16, failure to report unexcused absences within the established guidelines. However, behind Exhibit C1, the second document there is a letter dated April the 5th from the Office of Dropout Prevention, which notes that the district has resolved the deficiencies related to this process standard. The third was Process Standard 23.3. I think that should actually be 5 in my notes. 23.5, continued noncompliance with state and federal regulations for serving students with disabilities. That is 23.3, I'm sorry. Continued noncompliance, federal regulations for students with disabilities.
What is the history of the accreditation status for the Jackson Public School District?
On November 20th, 2009, the final decision of the Commission on School Accreditation was approved by the State Board of Education regarding the annual assignment of accreditation statuses for school year 2009-2010 in accordance with Accreditation Policy 2.3. The Jackson Public School District was assigned an accreditation status of accredited with no deficiencies on record. On September the 10th, 2010, the final decision of the Commission on School Accreditation was approved by the State Board of Education regarding the annual accreditation statuses for school year 2010-2011 in accordance with Accreditation Policy 2.3. The deficiencies on record for Jackson Public School District at that time were Process Standard 8.1, dealing with appropriate licensed staff based on the personnel report to the Office of Accreditation, and Process Standard 10.1, failure to maintain records for capital assets based on the audit report for year ending June 30th, 2008. On September the 16th, 2011, the final decision of the Commission on School Accreditation was approved by the State Board of Education regarding the annual assignment of accreditation statuses for school year 2011-2012 in accordance with Accreditation Policy 2.3. The Jackson Public School District was assigned an accreditation status of probation at that time. The deficiencies on record for the Jackson Public School District were Process Standard 16, failure to report unexcused absences within the established guidelines, and Process Standard 23.5. At that time, the district was categorized as high risk for all United States Department of Education federal grant programs. Following that annual assignment of accreditation status of probation on September the 16th, 2011, the district was notified on October 21st, 2011 by the Office of Accreditation of noncompliance with Process Standard 10.5 for failing to meet the October 15th deadline for submission of the district's year-end financial statements for the audit report year ending June 30th, 2009. Then on November the 7th, 2011, based on the review of the significant improvements made in federal programs related to personnel, processes, and procedures, the district was notified that the Department of Education would be notifying the United States Department of Education that the Jackson Public School District's designation of high-risk status for federal grant programs was being removed. On January the 13th, 2012, the Office of Special Education notified the Office of Accreditation that the Jackson Public School District was in continued noncompliance with Process Standard 23.3 and that issues of noncompliance would be added to the district's accreditation record summary. Then on April the 5th, 2012, the Office of Dropout Prevention notified the Office of Accreditation that the issues of noncompliance related to Process Standard 16 had been resolved by the school district. And as a result, the district currently has issues of noncompliance with 2 process standards on their accreditation record summary. That is Process Standard 10.5 for failure to meet the October 15th deadline for submission of the district's year-end financial statements based on the audit report year ending June 30th, 2009, and Process Standard 23.3, the continued noncompliance with state and federal regulations for serving students with disabilities.
So what is their current accreditation status?
The current accreditation status of the Jackson Public School District is probation.
Would you tell the board about Exhibit C2?
Exhibit C2 is the Mississippi Public School Accountability Standards 2010 edition, which serves as the current accreditation policy. Pages 8 through 21 of that document outlines the accreditation policies. The district's accreditation policy, which is policy 2.0, states that the State Board of Education, acting through the Commission on School Accreditation, is required to establish and implement a process for accountability at the public school district level. School districts are held accountable for process standards and receive annual accreditation statuses. Standards of the performance-based accreditation system recommended by the Commission on School Accreditation and adopted by the State Board of Education are contained in the current edition of the Mississippi Public School Accountability Standards. Section 3717.5 of the Mississippi Code of 1972 is amended, and Accreditation Policy 4.1 states that the purpose of the Commission on School Accreditation is to continually review the standards on accreditation and the enforcement of the standards, and to make these recommendations to the State Board of Education. According to Accreditation Policy 2.1, the Commission on School Accreditation determines the annual accreditation status of all public school districts in the fall of each year, and that's based on verified accreditation data from the previous school year. An annual district accreditation status is assigned based on compliance with process standards, and information concerning district compliance with process standards is reported to the Commission on School Accreditation on an annual basis.
Dr. Vanderburg, what actions by a school district or violations can result in an immediate downgrade of accreditation status?
Accreditation Policy 2.5 addresses the process standards in which a district can be immediately downgraded, and according to that policy, one of the factors that may immediately affect the downgrade of a accreditation status is Process Standard 23.3, continued noncompliance with federal programs. When the district has verified correction of all deficiencies in meeting process standards that were previously cited on the accreditation record summary, at that time we can make a request to the Commission on School Accreditation that the accreditation status be upgraded. However, action of the Commission is required in any case. Accreditation Policy 2.3 states each public school district is assigned an annual accreditation status based on compliance with process standards as follows. Accredited is assigned to a district that complies 100% with process standards. Advised is assigned to a district that has process standard deficiencies. The district will be required to develop a corrective action plan to address the deficiencies. Probation is assigned to a district that was assigned an advised status the previous school year, and the district has not taken corrective actions or has not removed the process standard deficiencies that resulted in the advised status. The district will be required to develop a corrective action plan to address the deficiencies. Withdrawn is assigned to a district that has previously been assigned a probation status and still does not comply with the corrective action plan. It also applies to any district placed in conservatorship.
Did you receive any documentation from the Office of Special Education regarding the accreditation status of the Jackson Public Schools?
I received the letter on January the 13th that noted the issues of non-compliance with federal regulations, and the letter from Office of Accreditation asked that that matter be presented to the Commission on School Accreditation for action in accordance with Policy 2.5.
And that letter has been admitted into evidence as Exhibit C-17.
Yes, ma'am. C-17. And accreditation policy 2.5 does require that any violation of a process standard be reported to accreditation, and that it be maintained on the accreditation record summary. So that's what the purpose of the January 13th, 2012 letter to the Office of Accreditation served. The accreditation record summary is just a continuous record that's maintained in the Office of Accreditation that reflects the deficiencies that go on or off a district's record. And it's updated as these citations are added or deleted. And the district, each time there's a change made in the accreditation record summary, the district is also notified. As I previously stated, the letter, Exhibit C-17, dated January 13th, 2012, did request that the continued non-compliance with Process 23.3 be reported to the Commission on School Accreditation for consideration of immediate downgrade of accreditation status. Accreditation Policy 2.5, according to that policy, any verified violation of a process standard is noted on the record of the school district at the time of the discovery in any year, and it will not affect the district's accreditation policy unless it is part of the exemptions that are outlined in Policy 2.5. And again, as I stated, Accreditation Policy 2.5 states that an assigned accreditation status may remain unchanged throughout the school year, with the exception of the cases outlined in Policy 2.5. Policy 2.5 has 5 factors that could result in that immediate downgrade, one of which is the continued non-compliance with federal regulations.
And was that what was reported to you in the January 13th letter?
Yes, ma'am. And at that time, since the Jackson Public School District was currently assigned an accreditation status of probation, any action under Policy 2.5 would have resulted in the withdrawal of accreditation. So then we take policy, again, going back to Policy 2.3, withdrawn is assigned to a school district that has previously been assigned probation status and still does not comply with the corrective action. So the January 13th letter from the Office of Special Education, it did indicate that the district, that the Department of Education, specifically the Office of Special Education, had been working with the district for a period of over 1 year to implement the corrective actions to correct these deficiencies. The hearings held by the Commission on School Accreditation are addressed in Policy 2.8.2.1, and that policy states, before recommending that the State Board of Education withdraw the accredited status of a district, the Commission conducts a hearing to allow officials of the affected district to present evidence or other reasons as to why the accreditation status should not be withdrawn. And all hearings are held before the Commission. They're transcribed and recorded in accordance with Section 37-17-6-11A of the Mississippi Code of 1972 as amended.
Will you tell the Commission about Exhibit C3?
Exhibit C3 is a letter dated March 6, 2012 to Dr. James Sargent, the interim superintendent of the Jackson Public School District, and Ms. Keziah Nolan, the board president for the Jackson Public School District. This letter notified, I addressed the letter, it came from the Office of Accreditation. It notified the district of the report that we received from the Office of Special Education, noting the continued noncompliance with Process 23.3 for special education. The letter also notified the district that a special called meeting of the Commission on School Accreditation was going to be held on March the 12th, 2012, for the purpose of reviewing the reported findings from the Office of Special Education, and to consider scheduling this hearing to allow the Jackson Public School District to present the evidence or other reasons why its accreditation status should not be withdrawn. Moving on to Exhibit C4. Exhibit C4 is a copy of the minutes of that March 12, 2012 special call meeting of the Commission on School Accreditation that was held for the purpose of determining whether or not the district should be allowed to present evidence or other reasons why its accreditation status should not be withdrawn. At the time that the Mississippi Department of Education provided the exhibits for this hearing, there was only an unofficial copy of those minutes available. However, a copy of the official minutes have now been included behind Exhibit C4. Exhibit C5 is a letter from Dr. Lee Childress, the Vice Chairman of the Commission on School Accreditation, to Dr. James Sargent, Interim Superintendent of Jackson Public School District, and Ms. Keziah Nolan, President of the Board of Trustees for Jackson Public School District, notifying the district that a date for the show cause hearing had been scheduled for April the 26th, 2012, and that the Commission did agree to allow the district to present evidence or other reasons why its accreditation status should not be withdrawn.
Dr. Vanderpool, was there an attachment to that letter?
Yes, ma'am. The attachment to the letter was the proof of publication of the probation status for the Jackson Public School District. With Exhibit C2, going back to policy, accreditation policy 2.8.2.2, this is the policy that addresses the hearings held before the Commission on School Accreditation, and that policy states that within 45 calendar days of the conclusion of the hearing, the Commission will determine whether the accreditation status of the district should be withdrawn. If the decision is not to withdraw the accreditation status of the district, a new timeline will be established contingent upon the accredited, the new timeline will be established contingent on the State Board of Education. If the decision is made to withdraw the accredited status of the district, the State Board of Education reviews the record of the hearing and determines whether or not to approve the Commission's decision. According to Section 3717.6.11a of the Mississippi Code of 1972 as amended, if the decision to withdraw accreditation is upheld by the State Board of Education, the Commission, upon approval of the State Board of Education, is authorized to withdraw the accreditation status of the school district and issue a request to the governor that the state of an emergency be declared in the district.
Dr. Vanderpool, what will be the effect of the withdrawal of the accreditation to Jackson Public School District?
The effect of the withdrawal of the accreditation to Jackson Public School District will be that the district will no longer be accredited by the Mississippi Department of Education, and the school district will not be eligible for reinstatement of their accreditation status until all deficiencies on record have been removed.
I have no further questions. Dr. Vanderpool at this time.
Yes, ma'am. I have maybe one question that I would like to ask Ms. Vanderpool. I believe in your testimony you said that all deficiencies have been cleared except two. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That is
so
correct.
all those others that you listed for the last 2 to 3 years, the district has worked diligently to remove those deficiencies.